Hi, I am a volunteer with Aldeas de Paz. My name is Matthew Miller. I'm 17 years old and from Chicago, and I work teaching English to the hospital staff, giving computer classes to some adults in the area, and then also working at a school for kids with special needs. In Samaná is a beautiful town. You can see a nice view behind me, and everyone here is very friendly. Being proficient in Spanish really helps, but there are lessons a few times a week for you to learn, and just being in a town where everyone speaks Spanish is a great way to learn more Spanish and practice your Spanish. And yeah, you should definitely come check us out in Samaná because we do some really good work in the community, and this is a community that needs our help but also really appreciates it. And there's so much to do. You could work in tourism, you could work with multimedia, you could work at a school. Any skills or talents you have that you think you could really apply here definitely are applicable. So I would encourage you to come. Entonces, ¿cómo ha sido tu día?
Oh, el día mío hoy ha sido un día normal.
¿En serio?
Nada bueno ni nada malo, todo normal hoy.
Ah, de veras.
¿Y a ti cómo te va? ¿Cómo te va?
Todo bien, sí, estoy un poco cansado, es que cancelaron la escuela hoy por una inundación. Okay. Y por eso no pude trabajar, pero sí, pienso hacer clases para los médicos a las 5:30.
Ok, ¿cuánto tiempo piensas quedarte aquí en Samaná?
Por 2 semanas más.
Oh, no quiero que te vayas, Mateo.
Ah, gracias.
Eres un buen amigo de nosotros.
Gracias, y tú eres un buen amigo también. Well, yeah, in Samaná you meet a lot of people, everybody's very friendly, and it's really great to build relationships with the people here because those are things that will last a long time, and things that I'll take with me after I go home. Well, I really like the food selection here. There is so much to eat. To my right, there's a pizza place. To my left, there's another pizza place. And further left, there's an ice cream shop. So you won't run out of options to eat, and everything is much cheaper because the exchange rate doesn't really do justice to the true price of things here. Another aspect of my volunteering here has been the sights that I've been able to see. I've traveled to a waterfall called El Limón that was really beautiful, and just a great destination because we had like a 40-minute hike with a bunch of other volunteers. It's a great bonding experience, and then we reached this beautiful serene waterfall. I've also been to Cayo Levantado, which is an island nearby, on a ferry, which costs about $4 to go there for the entire day. And just some other places around Samaná. There's so much to do here, and it's very easy to get around. And behind me is the view of the Bay of Samaná, and this sort of area is called the Malecón. It's where we walk to get a bite to eat or just to go for a walk at night. I have a nice bench to myself with nobody else occupying it, and it's similar to the color of my shirt. And also, something else you might want to know is that in Samaná, there are many different types of food that you can eat from. You can get American food, you can get Italian food, Chinese food, but I really do enjoy the Dominican cuisine. I've eaten a lot of rice and beans since I arrived, but they also have plantains, fried plantains, which are very good, and other different dishes that you'll really like. And all of the food here is actually quite inexpensive, just given the exchange rate. Yeah, so at night, usually you'll meet with some of the other volunteers, eat dinner together at one of the restaurants nearby or cook something. And a lot of times you'll go out and just take a stroll on the Malecón. But it's really flexible. If you want to go to bed early, you can. If you want to stay up a little bit later and eat your milk and cookies or whatever it is, you also can. would say that if you're a parent considering sending your child to Aldeas de Paz for the summer or just a break in school, there's really not that much to worry about. It's a very safe town, and there's actually a whole body in the Dominican Republic dedicated to protecting tourists and volunteers who come from abroad. It's called CESTUR, Cuerpo Especializado para el Turismo, and they have agents all around Samaná just making sure that the tourists are safe and that they're not being threatened by any people around here. But the people are very friendly, and you really don't have anything to worry about coming to Samaná. And it's definitely a worthwhile experience because when you're young, you get to learn so much about the culture and meet other young people who are here as residents who live here. And it's just a great experience, so I wouldn't hesitate to come if you're young and you think that you might be too young. So one thing that you'll definitely notice here is that the culture is very different. People are very outgoing, very friendly. Here's a colmado where you can buy all of your basic food, supplies, really anything for very good prices, and you probably will run into one about every 20 feet. The culture is a very expressive culture. There are a lot of parties, fiestas, and one thing that I did notice that I didn't expect to find is that there are a lot of motorcycles on the streets. That's the main method of transportation. And just some other things to note about the culture. In the US and in a lot of more modern countries, the people are they keep to themselves, they're a little more introverted. But here I really like how everyone lives on a much more simple basis with maybe less possessions and less to do with, but people are much happier, people are much more outgoing, and I really appreciated that about the culture. It's something that you wouldn't expect to find, but it really does teach you a lot about being happy with what you have and learning how to make small sacrifices while you're here. And yeah, I think that really epitomizes the Dominican culture as far as I've experienced it here. This is the English class where I teach with a lot of other volunteers, and it's been a really rewarding experience because the doctors are very focused during class and they really want to learn because this vocabulary can be applied to their patients and just to everyday settings. Recently we've been going over different verbs that you might use at a restaurant, and so our opening activity today is writing the verbs on the board in Spanish, and then they will come up and write them in English. And then today we're also introducing some new vocabulary about things you would find in a city. So yeah, this is generally how we begin an English class, with a review of what we've done in prior classes, and then we move forward to learning something new.